I'm pleased to have with us here today Howard Behar. He's with us. He's former president of Starbucks International. He's book author of It's Not About the Coffee. Howard, welcome to Traders Nation. How are you today?
Thanks, Kurt. I'm doing great.
Good, good. Hey, what brought you to write It's Not About the Coffee? Considering Starbucks is huge, I love it, all right? What brought you to write it?
Well, you know, after a lifetime of working in businesses and thinking about what mattered to me, I thought it would be a great idea to write a book for myself, so I always remember what brought me to the party.
Right, all right, good enough. How do you define the corporate culture at Starbucks? It's really kind of different than what you find in a lot of places, isn't it?
I think it is. It's participative. It's, you know, it's about the people. And the business really was driven that way. You know, I think that coffee is a social product, which helped a lot.
Yeah.
But it also went to the values of the leaders in the organization that said, hey, this is a people organization, and that's how we're going to drive it.
Right. Now, listen, when you started off, Howard, with Starbucks, it was 28 stores, correct? And then now...
That's correct.
Now there are over 13,000 stores, not only nationally, but worldwide. How does Starbucks keep control of that small, you know, that mom and pop feel, that small spirit and focus, if you will?
Yeah, well, I think there's the right word, is that you don't really keep control.
Yeah.
You know, you help lead it and influence it. And, you know, the goal is to let people serve other human beings and be part of an organization that's fulfilling a bigger dream than just serving a cup of coffee. And so, you know, when you try to control something, you usually try to do it by rules and regulations, and that's something that we've tried to stay away from. We've tried to say, just like you know, if you come into Starbucks and you want yours extra hot or a little extra foam or whatever it is that you want, you know, we don't say, hey, that's not our recipe.
Right.
We say, yeah, absolutely, we'll do it for you. And so it's kind of getting rid of that control. It's the opposite of what you'd think. Now, that means there's a chance for some failures along the way, and we have plenty of them. But overall, I think we do a good job.
Yeah, fair enough to say that rules and regulations really headbutt with the spirit of the employees that service customers?
Well, I think that you mean getting rid of the rules and regulations.
Yeah.
I think when you put rules and a lot of rules and regulations in place, you totally get rid of the spirit. You know, it's in the book I talk about that the person who sweeps the floor had to choose the broom.
Right.
And I use that as an analogy to basically say, look, we got a lot of people that we brought into this organization. We can trust them to do a good job, and when we don't, we'll help them do better the next time.
Right. Now, what was the defining moment to take Starbucks? Now, I know the story from the original owner to when it was acquired, etc. But what was the defining moment for you, because you're on the international side, to take Starbucks out of the United States and make it a worldwide company?
Well, you know, I started with the company, like you said, when there were 28 stores and it was all in North America. And I kept looking at what we were doing, and I was saying, God, there's an opportunity. We had about 400 stores at the time to take this outside of North America. And we made a decision to go to Japan first, which everybody thought we were crazy, but when you think about Seattle being a Pacific Rim city, we were fairly close.
Right.
And that was the defining moment. It was in August of 1996. We opened our first store, and I think we have over 600 stores now in Japan, and probably close to 4,000 stores outside of North America.
That's huge. All right, now in your book you write about we're in the human service business, not the customer service business. What's the difference between the two?
Oh, God, there's a huge difference. When you think about customer service business, you know, it's kind of like thinking that this person in front of you has a dollar bill pasted to their forehead. And if you just figure out a way to treat them nice or manipulate them, you're going to get that dollar bill. When you're in the human service business, you're not looking at them as if they have dollar signs on their forehead. You're thinking about them as a human being first. And that's the way we've operated. If you think about our stores, you can come in there and sit for 3 hours. You don't even have to buy a cup of coffee.
Right.
You can, you know, read your newspaper, use your computer, have a conversation, whatever it happens to be.
It's an experience. It's an experience, isn't it?
It's an experience. Yeah, it is an experience, but it's human. You know, it's not greed. Okay. And that doesn't mean we don't make money. That doesn't mean we're not a profit-producing enterprise. We are.
Right. Well, you have to be with the shareholders, okay?
Absolutely. Well, for all of us, if we all want to work there, people want to work there, we've got to make money.
If you got to make money today, if you're going to have your doors open tomorrow, Howard.
Absolutely.
All right. You can use that in your next book, by the way. You know.
All right, thanks.
You're more than welcome. Hey, what do you mean by you write in your book also, you advise it, you only wear one hat? Yeah, we've all been trained to wear multiple hats in corporate America.
Yeah, well, that's probably one of the biggest problems in this country today as a whole. But let me just give you kind of a little idea. Let's say you get up in the morning and you look across the bed from you, and your significant other is laying there, and you say, "Oh boy, I better put on my significant other hat," versus your own hat. All of a sudden, you're starting to modulate your own behavior, who you are. And you're being a different person. If you go to work and you have to do exactly the same thing, something's wrong.
Right.
So I think you got to start in life with who are you and what matters to you. What are your values? What do you want out of life? What are your goals? And then you try to put yourself into places and organizations that allow you to go for that, to be that. And so many of us, I think, sell ourselves short by taking the first job that comes along, or by not thinking about where we want to be.
Right. Good.
And there's so many great places that you can work, or so many people that you can have great relationships with that allow you to be you. Why not choose one of those?
Yeah. Why is the word yes so powerful as a leader?
Well, because we grow up and we're born and we're a year old and we head towards that coffee table with a beautiful piece of crystal on it, and all of a sudden our mother yells out, "No!" Right? Don't touch that. And that's kind of how we live our lives, through grade school, whatever it is. Sometimes people aren't telling us the word no. Maybe they just roll their eyes when we come and ask them a question. So we get ready to go to work, and we're starting to think to ourselves, finally, I have reached a stage in my life where I'm able to use that word no. And I use the word no, but I mean any emotion of no.
Yeah.
Yes is just so much more powerful. When you can say yes to people, even when you have to say, "Gee, I can't do that right now, but how about tomorrow?" It's so much more empowering. And I always, in the book, I talk about closing your eyes and saying the word no, no, no 10 times over and over, and then repeating the same thing by saying yes. And just see the difference that you feel.
It is a big difference now, Howard. Where can we find your book? Barnes & Noble, Amazon, all the above stores?
All of the usual suspects. Everybody's out there selling it, I hope.
Can we find it in Starbucks?
You won't find it in Starbucks. We thought it was a little too self-serving. So
all right, there you go.
It'll be sold everywhere but Starbucks.
Good choice, Howard Behar. Thanks for being with us here today. Appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Head on out today, get a copy of a fantastic book. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.